What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another 15-minute segment. If you're new here, this is the segment audio only where I pick a topic and I talk about it for 15 minutes, and then that's it, and then we're done. Just trying to find my sounds here. All right, I got the sounds cooked up. All right, so Jim Carrey's face. Let me get my timer set. All right, and we're off. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around. I'm a little bit late on this news story. I think this happened 2 weeks ago, so it's not that long ago. But I'm just trying to wrap my head around exactly what I want to say and how I want to approach this. So I guess we can go back to the beginning. Jim Carrey. I am 37 years old, so I remember watching Jim Carrey on In Living Color. And then obviously the mega Hollywood run with Ace Ventura 1, 2, The Mask, and Liar Liar. What am I missing? Cable Guy. Out of all those movies, I think I saw Ace Ventura 2 in the theaters, and as a little kid, it was so funny that I probably blacked out in the theater. And then I do remember going to the Cable Guy, and the reviews of the Cable Guy, he was rolling on crazy momentum for Cable Guy, and the reviews were that it wasn't good. So he was at the top of the mountain, and then he got taken back down to reality by the critics for Cable Guy, which I guess was like a change in his normal sort of plot of his movies and whatnot.
Alrighty then.
But the Cable Guy, I haven't actually watched it since I saw it in theaters. I've seen parts of it, but never once fully through. But I think it's more meant for adults. It's like dark comedy, whatever. It's kind of creepy. The Cable Guy shows up, then he becomes friends with him, whatnot. But we're talking about his face. And so here's my reaction. I go on Twitter and I see Jim Carrey appears at an award show. His face doesn't look the same. And then I look at the face, and I fall into this category where I see what he looks like, and to myself, I go, that's him, but he got plastic surgery. And actually, you know what? The first thing I saw was Trisha Paytas tweeting about it, maybe that was early on. And she wrote, "It's not a conspiracy. He just got work done on his face." So I tend to agree with that. There's no mass conspiracy that it's a body double, it's a clone. In my opinion, starting off, and I just have my cup of coffee here, initial reaction was, this is his face, and he just got, people say Botox, but Botox tightens your face, right? So I think he got injections for, women who get silicone injected into their lips, right? For lip injections. He got facial injections to, I guess, soften wrinkles. Maybe. And I also want to look at this movie, or this TV series he was in. Jim Carrey TV series. Recent. What was it called? Kidding. Until 2020. Let's look at his face. If you look at the cover of Kidding, or the ad for it on Showtime, which is the same dimensions as a VHS cassette. It's a vertical rectangle. He's got the same hairdo. His face looks similar to how it appeared. Yeah, he looks just in Kidding, he looks like the guy at the award show, but there's some differences. The main differences that I saw, the eye color is a big one. His eyes are much, much lighter at the award show. So how do you explain that? And then we can Google eye color lightens with age. Is that true? Eyes can become lighter with age due to a natural reduction of melanin pigment in the iris, thinning of the iris tissue, or development of arcus senilis, a grayish-white ring around the cornea. While often benign, fading eye color can also indicate underlying treatable eye conditions such as Fuchs' heterochromic iridociclitis or pigmentary glaucoma. So he's old and he has glaucoma. But I'm going to tell you where this whole storyline sort of changed for me, and then I'll get into the conspiracies because that is what people want to know about.
Alrighty then.
Well, see, when you look at the pictures, you go, yeah, it's him. And he just got, a little bit of plastic surgery on the face. Maybe his face got fat for some reason. I can also point to the fact that years ago, I was working in a deli, and every day I would make myself deli sandwiches because I had full control over how the sandwich would turn out. Not that I was loading it with meat or anything, but wash my hands, brand new gloves, the perfect proportions, perfect bread. I get everything exactly how I want. And it's a fun experience because you have a whole kitchen basically you can work with. So I was eating deli sandwiches, 5 days a week. And at the time I was also videoing myself for YouTube.
Yummy!
And I noticed when I look back at those videos from the deli days that my face was fatter for sure. I was becoming a fat guy. In the face, at least. So maybe Jim Carrey's just eating a lot and packing fat onto his face. But like I said, I want to look at...
Do not go in there.
I want to go in there and go into the conspiracies. So when I saw the video of him accepting the award, I'm going to be honest with you, I was like, wait a second now. Because, and this is where I'll get into the big time theories of what I need to say about this. One, his demeanor was very weird, which falls in line with his past award show appearances where he's done weird stuff. And I was watching the award show where he dressed up as a long-haired hippie and he said something pretty graphic on stage. I was watching that live and I was like, what the hell is this? And then it was revealed that it was Jim Carrey. But that was a funny joke. This was weird because when you watch the video, he's so effusive and thankful for the award, and he does the whole speech in French. And he's very soft spoken, and he looks like he's about to burst in tears, he's so happy to be there. Which doesn't add up because he never has acted like that before. In fact, he's done the exact opposite, where he's the award shows are meaningless. Why am I here? This is one big joke. He doesn't seem to really care. So the behavior change, along with the face, slight differences in the face, which make you at least question it, wait a second, it kind of looks like he's wearing a mask, or it's a guy wearing a mask, or I don't know. And then we get into the conspiracies, and now I'll go deeper in.
Alrighty then.
Deeper into the conspiracy land, and like I said, this is
Do not go in there.
This is stuff that people have theories about, which is cloning, right? And you look at the Epstein list, and Jeffrey Epstein has his New Mexico Area 51 ranch where he's doing science experiments with cloning. He's a mad scientist with baby fetuses in jars. And then he's got a huge metallic room where Jim Carrey shows up and gets strapped down to a table. And,
I just can't do it, Captain. I don't have the power.
He's strapped down to the table, and Jeffrey Epstein injects him with some sort of
Yummy!
Some sort of stuff, and then all of a sudden he pops out and his face is fat and he's a different person. And that's my opinion, that when they say the word cloning, it's impossible, because how does the science work behind cloning someone who's matured to 60 years old, and you're just going to pop out another 60-year-old? That seems to defy the laws of reality. Whereas, and if you think about Kanye West, who was saying, they're trying to give me medicine, I don't want the medicine, they're calling me crazy, they're trying to bring me into reprogram me or deprogram me. That's where the conspiracies come in, where it's like they brought Jim in and they go, you have to agree with what we're going to say. Whoever these people are, these are like the shadowy figures who run Hollywood, or, you know, the Illuminati and everything. So they bring Jim in and they go, we don't like what you're doing. And he's like, well, I'm not going to back down. He goes, you're not going to back down, then you need to come in and have a meeting with us, you know?
Alrighty then.
And so he goes in for the meeting, and then they go, if you're not going to back down, blah, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, his whole personality has changed. That's where the conspiracy is. It's less in the face, and it's more the personality. And this is another thing, too. There's been so much of a big reaction, and after the reaction to him, that's not Jim. We've seen that his publicist comes out and says something. Let me look that up. Jim Carrey's publicist. I'm on Google. Here it is, MSN. Jim Carrey's publicist finally addresses the clone rumors. Let's see. This is like an article that I don't see the direct quote, though. Jim Carrey responds to new face rumors after César Awards. Oh, his publicist Marley Leslie told TMZ Jim Carrey attended the César Awards, where he accepted his honorary César Award. I'm seeing a photo of him now on the red carpet that looks like him. Yeah, it's him in the photos, but when you watch the video, you're like, this is weird, like. And you'd think, being that he's so famous and has been so famous for so long, his fame transcends the average, transcends almost any other comedian who's alive. He's like the number one comedian, actor, Hollywood guy. So he transcends. So you'd think that maybe he would come out being aware of the fact that he's such a major, influential figure and voice in pop culture. And if you followed along with the Will Smith slap story, and there were people saying that that was staged at the time, Jim Carrey did an interview on a mainstream news, I think with Gayle King, where he said, he spoke out against it, saying, you know, we shouldn't have slapped him. It made Hollywood look bad, totally not cool. If you watch that interview, definitely that's the Jim Carrey that I remember, because he has some edge to him, you know what I mean? Where he can like,
Yummy!
he can come out and say something like that, and it's like, all right, this is Jim Carrey saying this, you know what I mean?
The who? The her.
But when you look at the video of him accepting the awards, there's something definitely off, and that's basically it. I mean, let's see if I can find some information I can end the 15 minutes with. I have less than 2 minutes left. Oh yeah, and the whole Alexis Stone is some sort of like drag queen who was like, it was me, but then just trying to piggyback on the engagement. Michael Gondry was there, who directed Eternal Sunshine, and also did, what movie did he do? The Hornet? Green Hornet? I have not seen that. Is that Seth Green? Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Green Hornet. I wonder if that's any good. So yeah, I guess it was Jim Carrey, but definitely weird. It's weird to watch the behavioral changes of these megastars, and I guess it's like pretty easy to explain. Like, they get too out of control about speaking out against the system, and then all of a sudden, like, that sort of talk dies down and quickly, and they do 180s fast. So I think Kanye West is like one of the major public figures who has documented his experience of like, oh, I spoke out, they froze my bank accounts, and, you know, he's like fleeing the country and everything. So he's like way out there, but it's tough to know the truth, because a lot of these celebrities are phony for a living. So they're so phony you can't tell what's fake and what's real. And one last thing I want to say before I end the video is that I was reading the newspaper, I think it was last week, and they had an article about, there was pictures of faces, and it goes, guess which face is AI and which face is a photograph. I think there was like 8 of them. Oh, there's the 15 minutes, and the segment's concluded, but I'll wrap up saying that in looking at the AI faces,
Alrighty then.
I could not figure out. I got almost every one wrong. So we have reached the point where and this happened probably about 6 to 10 months ago, where I stopped being able to tell the difference between AI and real. So that makes things confusing because you don't really understand what it is you're looking at and how serious to take it. So it almost is positive in a way, because you're able to just disengage, because it's like I'm less invested in something that I can't know if it's real or not, right? But anyway, that was my 15 minutes. Jim Carrey. Final verdict, was it him? I believe it was him, but I would like him to come out and address the rumors and admit, yes, it was me, and do an interview to reassure the public. But doesn't seem like he's going to do that anytime soon. And thanks for listening, and I will catch you next time. Have a nice day.